Imagine telling a simple story that ignites a spark in her brain, making her unable to stop thinking about you for hours, days, maybe forever. Today, we're going to dive into 3 short and powerful little stories, proven by neuroscientists to activate the obsession mode in the female mind. These narratives aren't ordinary tales. They're subtle tools that create deep emotional connections, anchoring memories that make her relive the moment with you over and over. By using them in a casual conversation, you plant seeds of attraction that grow effortlessly, turning ordinary interactions into something unforgettable. But wait, because the second little story reveals a psychological trick that makes her feel an instant connection, like you've known each other for years, and the third is the final secret that can make her dream about you at night, wondering why she can't get you out of her head. Stay until the end to discover how to apply this and change your interactions forever. If these secrets are resonating with you, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more revelations like this, and give a like if you want to see more content that puts you ahead of the others. 1. Imagine approaching her in a casual conversation, with your eyes fixed on hers and starting to weave a simple little story that transports her to a world of shared emotion. This first revelation is about a narrative that evokes adventure and complicity, anchoring a vivid memory in her brain. Based on the psychology of human behavior, it works because stories that involve risk and reward release dopamine, creating an emotional bond that makes her associate you with feelings of excitement and safety. By telling this, you're not just talking. You're inviting her to co-create a subtle fantasy where she sees herself as part of your journey. Use this in an initial encounter, when the air is charged with possibility, to turn words into a spark that burns slowly. Here's exactly what you can say, keeping your voice low and confident. You know, once I was on a road trip on a deserted road at night, with a friend I barely knew. The car broke down in the middle of nowhere, and instead of panic, we laughed about the situation, lit an improvised campfire, and spent hours talking under the stars, sharing secrets that no one else knew. In the end, that mishap turned into the best memory, because it connected us in a way that the planned never would. See how this little story plants seeds of intimacy, suggesting that you're the kind of man who turns chaos into magical connection. She's going to imagine herself on that road with you, feeling the warmth of the campfire and the closeness of bodies in the dark. Now, why does this activate obsession mode? Because, according to studies in human behavior, narratives that mix vulnerability and adventure activate the brain's reward system, making her relive the emotion repeatedly. It's not manipulation. It's pure psychology, where you position yourself as the stoic hero who navigates uncertainties with calm, inspiring trust and desire. Practice this in real interactions, like at a coffee shop or party, pausing dramatically to let her fill the silences with her imagination. The result? She starts craving more of your stories because every word pulls her closer, creating a subtle tension that pulses like a shared secret. Apply this technique with subtlety. Start slowly. Observe her reactions, the dilated eyes, the slight blush, and adjust the pace to maintain the mystery. Remember, the power is in the emotional anchoring, where the little story doesn't end when you stop talking. It continues in her mind, echoing like a veiled invitation to real adventures. Over time, she's going to catch herself thinking about you during the day, wondering what else you hide behind that enigmatic smile. But if this first little story already intrigues you, wait until you hear the second, which reveals an even deeper trick to make her feel inevitably attracted, like destiny unites you. 2. Moving on to the next secret. Imagine sliding this second little story into a more intimate conversation, maybe after dinner, when the air is thick with expectation. This narrative focuses on deep emotional connection, using elements of loss and rediscovery to anchor feelings that make her return to you mentally. Based on attraction and the psychology of subtle manipulation, it works because it explores the principle of emotional scarcity, making her value the rarity of an authentic bond, which triggers endorphins and creates an obsessive recall loop. You become the mysterious narrator who reveals hidden layers, inviting her to open up effortlessly. Use this when you feel the conversation needs a more personal touch, turning words into an invisible magnet. Here's the exact little story to tell. With a provocative tone and calculated pauses. I remember a time when I lost contact with someone special for months, thinking it was the end. Then, on a rainy day, we bumped into each other by chance in an old bookstore, and it was like time hadn't passed. We exchanged looks, laughed at the coincidences, and spent the afternoon flipping through old books, sharing passages that touched our souls. That unexpected reconnection showed us that some bonds are like invisible threads, always pulling back. Notice how this awakens curiosity, suggesting that you understand the mystery of human connections, and makes her imagine if you could have a story like that. The secret behind this is in the basis of attraction, where reunion stories activate emotion centers in the brain, making her project similar feelings onto you. Add a touch of stoicism by narrating with controlled calm, showing that you accept the flow of life without desperation, which intrigues her and provokes a sexy tension, like a game of glances that promises more. In interactions, observe how she leans forward, craving details, because this isn't just a story. It's an anchor that ties her emotionally, leaving her with a what if feeling that pulses in the silence. Practice varying the tone to maintain the mystery, making every word a verbal caress. Incorporate this into your real approaches, starting with a question about her memories to create reciprocity, and see how the little story turns into a hook that keeps her engaged. The result is powerful. She starts fantasizing about reunions with you, feeling a growing obsession that mixes curiosity and subtle desire. But don't stop there. The third little story holds the final climax, a secret that can make her actively seek you out, turning obsession into irresistible action. Stay tuned so you don't miss it. 3. The unexpected discovery. Little story moving on to the third and final secret in this irresistible series. Imagine now inserting this little story in a moment of greater closeness. Maybe during a nighttime walk or on a cozy sofa after a conversation that's already flowing naturally. This final narrative is designed to culminate in deep emotional anchoring, focusing on themes of personal discovery and shared transformation, which elevate the connection to an almost transcendental level. Based on the psychology of attraction and the principles of effective neuroscience, it operates by exploring the concept of mutual growth, where stories involving internal revelations activate brain regions associated with empathy and attachment, releasing oxytocin, the hormone of trust and bonding. It's not just about telling an anecdote. It's about positioning yourself as a catalyst for positive change in her life, creating a bond that makes her feel that, by your side, she can evolve and rediscover herself. Use this as the perfect closure to an interaction, when the vibe is already heated, turning the conversation into a bridge to something more lasting and intense. Here's the exact little story you can narrate, with a reflective and magnetic tone, pausing at moments of tension to let the words echo. I'll never forget that time when, during a solitary hike in the mountains, I met a stranger who seemed lost on the path. Instead of continuing alone, we decided to proceed together, facing steep climbs and icy streams, and along the way, she told me about her deepest fears, those that kept her from moving forward in life. I shared mine, and at the top of the mountain, with the sun setting on the horizon, we realized that journey wasn't just physical. It was a metaphor for overcoming internal obstacles. We left there changed, with a friendship that propelled us to conquer things that previously seemed impossible. Observe how this narrative subtly suggests mutual vulnerability, painting you as a journey companion who inspires growth, which makes her visualize herself by your side in adventures that go beyond the superficial, creating a vivid mental image of partnership and empowerment. Now, let's dissect why this activates obsession mode so powerfully. Studies in behavioral psychology, like those conducted by researchers at Harvard University on transformative narratives, show that stories involving shared overcoming stimulate the nucleus accumbens, the brain area responsible for processing rewards and motivation. By telling this, you're not imposing. You're inviting her to reflect on her own barriers, projecting onto you the role of facilitator of her personal evolution. This generates a cognitive loop where she relives the emotion of discovery, associating you with feelings of empowerment and excitement, which can lead to a healthy obsession driven by the desire to recreate this dynamic in real life. Add layers of stoicism by narrating with unshakable calm, demonstrating that you face challenges as opportunities, which awakens an instinctive attraction. She sees in you not just a romantic partner, but an ally in the pursuit of a better version of herself. In real scenarios, like an outdoor date or a deep conversation in a quiet bar, observe the signs, the sparkle in her eyes, the way she opens up more, revealing her own stories. Because this isn't manipulation, it's a psychological dance that builds authentic trust. To maximize the impact, incorporate sensory elements into your narration. Describe the smell of damp earth, the sound of wind in the trees, the touch of an extended hand to help on the trail, making the little story immersive and tangible. Practice varying the pace. Speed up in the action parts to create adrenaline, and slow down in the reflections to foster intimacy. The secret is in reciprocity. After telling, ask about one of her journeys, creating a dialogue that reinforces the emotional anchoring. Over time, she's going to catch herself thinking of you not as a passing option, but as the essential element for her own discoveries, fostering an obsession that manifests in unexpected messages or invitations to real adventures. This third little story is the apex, sealing the previous ones with a bond of depth that turns casual interactions into unforgettable connections. But remember, the true power lies in authenticity. Adapt it to your real experiences so it resonates with truth, avoiding it seeming scripted. By mastering this, you not only activate obsession mode, but build relationships based on mutual growth, where desire arises naturally from empathy and shared inspiration. As we reflect on these three little stories, the unexpected adventure on the deserted road, the magical reunion in the old bookstore, and the transformative journey in the mountains, it's clear that the secret to activating obsession mode doesn't lie in superficial tricks, but in a deep understanding of human psychology. Each narrative was carefully constructed to explore different facets of attraction, the excitement of risk in the first, the emotion of reconnection in the second, and the empowerment of discovery in the third. Together, they form a subtle arsenal that, when used with ethics and authenticity, can enrich social interactions, fostering genuine connections based on vulnerability, empathy, and mutual growth. It's not about manipulation, but about leveraging proven scientific principles, like the release of dopamine, endorphins, and oxytocin, to create bonds that transcend the ephemeral. In a world where relationships are often superficial, these techniques remind us of the power of stories to anchor lasting emotions, turning casual conversations into vivid memories that echo in the mind. They encourage not only romantic attraction, but a reflection on how we communicate, inviting us to be more intentional and present in our daily interactions. If applied with respect and mutual consent, they can elevate the quality of human relationships, promoting a deeper understanding of what makes us obsessed with each other. It's worth considering, in how many occasions do we miss opportunities for connection because we don't know how to weave narratives that touch the emotional core? This series serves as a reminder that, in the end, we're all storytellers, and the best ones are those that unite us in shared journeys. Now, tell me, which of these little stories resonated most with you? Or maybe you have a personal experience that resembles one of them. Share in the comments below in a spontaneous and open way. It could be a quick reflection, a variation you would use, or even a question about how to adapt for real situations. Your opinion enriches the discussion and helps the community grow. If you liked this content and want more valuable tips on attraction psychology, relationships, and personal development, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the upcoming valuable content that's coming. Turn on notifications to stay on top of everything.